and it's Missing Link. This one was requested, by the way, I believe it's, something the Critic. I can't remember your name, I apologize, but you actually suggested I go see this movie. Or at least requested I see this movie. And, I'll look it up in the comment section later, and, Jaden the Critic, I want to say? That might have been it. But anyway, this is a new one from Laika. It has, Hugh Jackman, Zach Galifianakis, Zoe Saldana, a couple other names I didn't bother sticking around for. That's like the main cast. And it's this explorer who's an adventurer to find mythical beasts, but he's mocked by the Adventurers Club. Says to go find Sasquatch, finds him, and then wants to bring him to his place where he belongs. And Laika's always had a good reputation in terms of quality of film. Some films are obviously better than others, but they've always generally been a solid quality of films. And this is no exception. This is a solid little film. Laika also doesn't make things very regularly, because it's a lot of stuff, even with the fact that it's clearly CGI in there, it's a lot of stop motion that's involved, and you can still tell that this probably took a while. Is it one of the better Laika films? I'd have to go over their entire roster of things that they've done. Kubo, Box Trolls, I think they did Paranorman. No, they didn't do Paranorman. They did, maybe they did Paranorman. I think they did Frankenweenie, didn't they? Tough one to say. They didn't do Corpse Bride. That claymation kind of style that goes or stop motion style that kind of goes with them a bit. I will say this. I like this more than I say Box Trolls, but I think Kubo to Two Strings is definitely a notch or two above it. But this is a good little film. It's funny. It's got actually a lot of heart and message into it, because the character of Susan, as he becomes now Mr. Link, or Mr. Susan Link, as you want to say his full name is, he's lonely. He's the last of his kind in basically that area. Probably not in the United States, let's be honest, but in that area. And, he hears about these Yetis, and he contacts his explorer, and they go out to find his people so he can have some place to call his own, call his home. And they do some subversion of expectation, let's say. Like the reveal with the Yetis. Immediately when I started hearing this Yeti talk, like the main Yeti you hear in the trailer talking, I'm like, oh, I know where this is gonna go. It's gonna suck. And sure enough, that's where it goes. I'm not gonna try to spoil too much on this one. There's no real point in it. I will immediately say, I recommend it if you want a good animated film for your kids, absolutely. But, there's humor to definitely work. There's jokes that I got a good couple laughs at, like, out loud laughs. At one point, he says to, Susan, for a while, he's wasn't Susan so much as, did he get the name? Yeah, he got the name Mr. Link after that, because his, valet before there was Mr. Lint. So he just, let's change the T to a K, and you're Mr. Link. But there's one point we're going into this saloon-type bar, and he pretty much says, oh, don't worry, I'm sure a bunch of people in there have hairy knuckles and poor hygiene. I don't know why, that got a nice laugh out of me. Also to note that the character, I can't remember, it's Reginald, I want to say, is not, despite being an adventurer and pretty cool-headed, he's not a perfect, he's more concerned about his own legend and prestige than he is initially about whatever happens to Susan. And you see a bit of that character growth. Yeah, it's within a 95-minute movie, so you can't have a really in-depth growth of character. But they do address his flaws as a person and the minor growth that he goes through during the movie. And I appreciate that. Zoe Saldana's, I don't even remember the character's name. She was fine. She wasn't amazing, but she was fine. The villain is twofold. There's a henchman villain who's kind of the more main adversary, and then there's the main villain who, my God, you want to punch this guy in the face just because he really is. He flat out says that he is a man of a different time and he doesn't want progression or evolution or proof of things like that. We are descended from men and only men. And, electricity and automobiles. What place would there be for me? what? It's like, look, I get people who are, what's the best way to put it, who have issues with change. I have issues with change at some level. But change is going to happen one way or another. And frankly, electricity benefited you, you dumbass. So, I don't see the problem with the electricity. Like, from the character's personal point of view, I could get being threatened by changes in your ideologies and your beliefs. That I can understand. But changes in how you actually live your day-to-day life that improve that, I don't understand that. The character is very much a cutout. He's supposed to represent something, and he does, but he's pretty much a generic cardboard villain. There's nothing redeemable about him. I like the design of him. Like, I love this mutton chop mustache blend in his white beard. I do like his design. And I would have said I would like the fact they got some accurate designs of some animals, except for the fact that every animal, not just the horse I initially saw, have all their eyes right up front. I don't understand the reason for that. Like, at all. Like, at all. There was no point on having all the animals have their eyes right there. A stylistic choice that made no... It might be a stylistic choice, but it makes no sense as a stylistic choice. Why couldn't you have the horse's eyes right there? Why couldn't you have the elephant's eyes a bit more over here? Why couldn't you have the seagull's eyes more to the side, like they should be? That was a style choice I just didn't understand. Yeah, it's a kid's film. They're supposed to look maybe a little different, but they're animals. It's not like Nessie, who you see in this scene where he's like fighting Nessie. That's the opening scene in the movie where he's in the boat, getting proof of the Loch Ness Monster. And I'll say this, they did at least something different with the design of Loch Ness Monster. It looks like a plesiosaur, but it has this giant, like, crest bump on its skull, for its face, its skull, where its eyes actually are. Its eyes aren't down here. It's not like it's a horn on its head. Its eyes are up here. Let's see the best way. Okay, so, seeing if I can, okay, so here's Nessie's neck, and there's this long, protrusion on top of the head. Oh, there we go. On his head. Yeah, Nessie, on his head. And the eyes are up here. So that's actually part of the head. It's not just like a crest. It's part, like the brains are and everything are in that part of the head. So I'm like, that was a different way of doing it. Okay. Zach Galifianakis, I generally liked Zach Galifianakis, but voiceover works fine. There are voices that don't match certain characters in certain movies, but ultimately he's fine. I did like him. I'm hit and miss when it comes to Zach. I generally like him, and when he pops up, and like, I love him in Birdman. I thought he was actually one of the better parts of a relatively dreadful movie in, Wrinkle in Time. He's hit and miss in the Hangover movies, but there was one movie a while back that, I can't remember the name of it, but he played a guy, but basically in a mental ward. Or something along those lines, and it basically, the main story is about some kid who checks himself into there because whatever, and Zach Galifianakis is one of the residents there, and he plays like a father who's stuck in there and wants to get back to his kid, and from a little I remembered of the movie, he's really good at it. So Zach Galifianakis isn't just a funny guy, off and on. He is actually a really good actor. So I'm always interested to see stuff he shows up in. And I love Zoe Saldana and Hugh Jackman. That's a given. If there's any flaws I have with the film, again, that I think I didn't understand. There isn't really much I can say against the film. The film's got a lot going for it, not a lot going against it. I will say that if you're not a fan of this style of film, because it is a different style of film. It's obviously there's CGI in there, but it's stop motion. The stop motion films are few and far between these days. There was never a big market for the stop motion films to begin with. They were around, sure, but they were never big. Like Nightmare Before Christmas, obviously. James and the Giant Peach was another one back in the 90s. You did get them, but they weren't. I think Coraline's another one. Yeah, Coraline's in that one. I remember that. But they're not very prominent. Prominent, I guess is the better way to put it. Prominent. They're not prominent in the pop culture zeitgeist, but they have their place. And because they don't do very much of them, and Leica's never been... Here's the thing about Leica, which I can really respect. The person who owns it even said, yeah, we're not worried, because they apparently have a lot of money. The guy who owns it, like, inherited it from, I think, his dad or something along those lines. And they have a lot of money to keep that place going. They're not concerned very much about profits so much as they just want to make good quality films that entertain kids and families. So, on that level, I can respect them immensely. They're one of the few studios that I know that actually are in it more for the art than the money. Most studios are in it for the money, but better quality movies makes for more money usually. So, you know, of course, that's not always the case. Transformers franchise. Though there's 2 good films in the Transformers franchise. So ultimately, I try not to rank the films anymore. I just try to give you my general take on them. And my general take is I really enjoyed it. If you've got kids, hell, I'm a 29-year-old guy, who saw this by himself and I enjoyed it. So if you're just someone who likes these type of films, but if you got kids as well, I can definitely recommend this film. Now, the kicker of this was, I can remember most of the trailers I did get, unfortunately, but I went in, was getting ready to get my notebook out for my trailers. I'm like, this is my phone. I realized, because I was going to just leave the stand I keep the phone on and the phone I use for my for recording in the car. Well, turns out I put the notebook in the car and the phone in my pocket instead. Fortunately, though, I can remember most of the trailers I got. So we got Toy Story 4 again. That's a good trailer. We'll probably get a better trailer. It's a solid trailer, not the best trailer. You know, and I always love the Beach Boys song. God only knows what I'd be without you. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Toy Story. Actually, I never saw in their entirety. No, I never saw the third one in its entirety. I've seen the majority. I know how it goes. But I've never seen its entirety start to finish. I've seen the first 2 start to finish, and I love the first 2. It's one of the few franchises you can make the argument that it kept getting better every movie. So there's that. There was that. Detective Pikachu was actually the first trailer we got. It's the most recent trailer, like main trailer, where you get Mewtwo at the end. I'm looking forward to that. I am. And look, at least from a animation perspective or an effects standpoint, it does show that Pokemon can work. At least, because Pokemon look generally do look good. Some of them look a bit more CGI than others, but generally speaking, they look solid. Pikachu looks great. Lickitung looks disturbing, but good. Schnubble looks good. The Machamp, the Snorlax, there's gonna be a lot of Pokemon in this movie. Mewtwo looks even good. What was some? Oh, Angry Birds 2. This was the full trailer. I saw the first Angry Birds. I'll probably see this one because I saw the first one. And I'll say this, for a movie based off I'm checking the time because the lighting, the time stamp right here where I'm at is in white, and unfortunately, poof, you'll see that it basically blends there. So I'm just doing that to check the time. How much longer I got? I got plenty of time. Look, for a movie based off a video game, a phone app, could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot better, but it could have been a lot worse. This looks about the same, honestly, which means I'll probably be okay with it. I probably won't hate it. I'll be like, it's an animated movie that's not crap. At least it's not Ugly Dolls, which I'm surprised we didn't get. But yeah, at least it's not Ugly Dolls. So we had that. We had Dora the Explorer. Oh, Dora. Oh my god. It's like Legends of the Hidden Temple. If it sucked. Oh my god. I gotta check what movies are coming out that week, because I do not want to have to see that. Unless someone asks me to, I do not want to have to see that. That looks painful to sit through. That looks... The acting, even for Michael Pena and Eva Longoria and Boba Fett. I don't even know that actor's name, but Boba Fett. Or Aquaman's dad, as he also is now known as. Oh, man, that does just... I like those actors. The girl playing Dora just grinds my... The quotes fan guys. You know what really grinds my gears? Dora in the Golden Shitty. Looking to hunt for the Golden Shitty. That's what really grinds my gears. Not my best Peter Griffin. Yeah, that just looks like garbage. Just hot garbage. I'm trying to think. There's one other trailer that really stands out in my head, but thank God that movie I think comes out this week, so I can be done with that trailer. I am so sick and tired of, and it's nothing against the movie itself, even though I don't particularly go for that kind of movie. I'm just sick and tired of seeing that trailer. It's even worse than when I was seeing, because the 5 Feet Apart trailer actually got me angry at the movie from the concept, what I was seeing from it. And from what I understand, it actually didn't turn out to be that bad a movie. I'm not going to see it. I didn't end up seeing it, all that. But this one, it's not that it'll look terrible. It's just, it's attached to every freaking movie I see. Minus the R-rated ones, which, like, we didn't get attached to Hellboy, which would have been hilarious if we did. But, oh my God. Thank God it's coming out this week. I'm going to be so happy to be done with this trailer. I'm not even joking. I'm going to be so ecstatic to be done with this trailer. And then this one, I had heard about this one briefly from coming out of CinemaCon. Abominable. Now, it's about a Yeti who was captured by a government, or like this businessman, and the girl who rescues him and tries to get him back to Everest, where he's from. It turns out the Yeti has some magic powers, and I'll say this, Smallfoot was just, pop culture references, music, all that stuff. Not the greatest Yeti movie. It wasn't the worst thing I had seen that year. I don't think it made it my top 10 worst, or didn't make my top 10 best. This looks a lot better. Like, the Yeti doesn't talk at all. It's more like a boy and or girl, in this case, a girl and her dog kind of story, and getting the dog back to the home it belongs to. And I'll admit, I like that song too. Well, don't wake me up when it's not over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. Like, I like that song. So, and when they play it and play in the trailer, I think it really works, instead of, A Dog's Way Home, where I'm like, stop. Just stop with that. You're pissing me off, movie. You're pissing me off. And you just don't want to take the movie by the scruff of its neck and just go, you're pissing me off, movie. So, yeah. That's my thoughts, though, on trailers. I'm sure we got one more I'm forgetting. Thoughts on the trailers. Thoughts on Missing Link. I liked it. I thought it was cute. It was charming. I would recommend it. Absolutely. I'm going to see Little on Tuesday. That'll be matinee. I have no more plans for the weekend. Well, that's not true. I have no plans to go out, but I will be doing some reviews. I got Umbrella Academy review today. And I think I am going to catch up on the Marvel Netflix shows, because I started doing those and I just never got around to finishing them. Right now, me and my girlfriend just finished Jessica Jones season 2. Oh, I got a ways to go before I get to Jessica Jones season 2. I've got things to say about Jessica Jones season 2. I also got things to say about all of them, but I got things to say about Jessica Jones season 2. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know the review of it at some point. And ideas for who would win, Star Wars, superhero magic, anything I do on the channel, put that in the comments below as well. By the way, I know episode 9's teaser dropped yesterday. I have watched it. Look, I will just say this. That was a good teaser. Didn't blow my mind, but especially when you get to that end where you get that little reveal at the end. I'm like, I did have to double take when I heard that. I'm like, was that what I thought it was? It's like, okay, sweet. So yeah, can't wait for a full trailer, and I can't wait for episode 9. Till then, though, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you folks next time. Have a good one.